Hi everyone, this is Father Chris, aka Pilgrim Padre, and I'm near the top of Mount Race. As you can see here, I'm on the Appalachian Trail. I often liken the spiritual journey to hiking up a mountain. It's true that, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort, and sometimes we can be content to just stay down there in the valley, stay down there where it's nice and comfortable, because the road up the mountain can be a bit tough. And it's true that at times we have to take a rest. Sometimes when we're on the trail and we get weary, we need to rest with the Lord a bit. But it's important that we persevere so that we can get to the top, because if we don't persevere, we'll miss views like this. As you can see here at the top of Race, near the top of Race Mountain. I also like to say, it's not a race against anybody else, as if we're trying to get holier than anybody else so quickly. Really, the race is against ourselves, against our own desire to quit, against our own discouragement, against even our own ego that thinks that we're the ones who have to do it all. The Lord calls us to receive from Him. Scripture tells us, "Blessed be the Lord my rock, who trains my arms for battle, who makes my feet swift as those of hinds, and enables me to go upon the heights." It is the Lord who draws us up. That song, He will raise us up with eagle's wings, that a lot of Catholics like to sing. It's true. And we also hear in Isaiah that youth will grow weary, but those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. And they shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint. And that's where we hear about those eagle wings. And up here, and we can often see eagles flying. We want to remember that we too have wings. Those wings are the wings of prayer and sacrifice. Those two things, prayer, where we give God time to actually fill us, to bless us, and to minister to God, because God longs. He longs like a father does, that we might receive from Him. Jesus, when He was on the cross, He said, "I thirst." And He was actually saying that He wanted us to receive from Him. That He wanted, and His great thirst is that our thirst to be loved might be fulfilled. He wants us to receive, because on the cross, just like in the Garden of Gethsemane, the devil was taunting Him and telling Him it wasn't going to be worth it dying for these people, that people were going to reject Him, that they weren't going to accept this free gift that He was giving them of His love and His mercy. And so when we let the Lord love us, when we let Him come into our hearts, when we let Him unify His life to us, we satiate His thirst. But in that marriage, in that mystical union, when we let the Lord, like a bridegroom, enter into us like the bride, when we let Him lay down His life for us and to give Himself to us, He unites our hearts to His. And then He asks us that as we receive from Him and as we hear Him say those words, "I thirst," that we might receive in our hearts His love for us. He then also calls us to hear Him in the poor and in others who also thirst to be loved and just do not know the love that Jesus has. It calls us to be sacrificial, to give and not to count the cost, to give up our selfishness. And this is hard. If I were an expert, I would write a book and I'd sell 1 million copies, but I'm not. All of us, we're on this pilgrimage of faith. We are practicing Catholics. We are practicing our faith. So sometimes we fall down and we get back up. And as that song says, we fall down and we get up, and the saints are just the sinners who get back up. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go upon the heights. Don't be content with the valley, especially the darkness or the sin that clings to us at times. Let the Lord call you to the heights, because you never know what you can do unless you try. Little by little, slowly but surely, we can make it there. Andiamo avanti.